Hi y'all, welcome back. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about Adobe Photoshop 2021 and all the new features, or should I say some of the key features that they have rolled out. So without much ado, let's jump right into it. Now, you all know that I did a 1 minute on how to replace the sky. So to replace a sky, you basically want to go to edit and click on sky replacement, and Photoshop will change your sky for you depending on what sky you want. There are three different options. You can choose a blue sky. We can click on the drop down and choose one, which totally changes our sky for us. Now you can go back and choose a spectacular, which we just did. Now we can also do a sunset, or we can go with this option. So you can see that there are variations of things you can do. And even after you've made your selection, you can go in and increase the temperature, the brightness, and so on and so forth. And once you're satisfied, all you have to do is click OK and you are done. So the next feature we're going to talk about is the refined hair feature that has been added. So now it's much easier to cut out a subject with a lot of hair. So once you select your quick selection tool, you select subject and then you click on select and mask. Now, if you look right here, there is a new button that is refine hair. Once you click on that, Photoshop basically fixes the hair for you. You click on OK and you have your selection. You add your layer mask to get rid of your background and voila, your selection looks fantastic. So we are going to move on with the next one. Now with this new feature, you can basically blur out the background. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now if you have to go to help and click on Photoshop help. Now this feature is under quick action, and under quick action you can basically remove the background similar to what was in 2020. You can also blur out the background. You can make an image black and white with just one color pop in, and you can also enhance your image. So we want to go ahead and try the blur background. So if you click on the blur background, Photoshop basically gives you a preview of how it's going to look. So you want to click on apply and watch Photoshop do that for you. Now this is a very quick way, and this is basically for beginners who don't know how to use Photoshop that much. I can just click OK and that is it. But now you notice that even if I want to enhance my background blur, I can basically double click on my Gaussian blur and the window pops up, and I can even increase it much further and click OK. But now the only problem is that you realize that the edge of the subject and the hair is a little blur. And that is because this feature could have taken it a step further to actually create an extra layer that basically had the background remove the subject, and then you can now apply the Gaussian blur on that one. Let me show you another way you can do this. You can have a much better effect. So you want to first of all make a duplicate of your subject, and then this one we want to cut it out. So you go to subject, select subject, and then we can go ahead and basically add a layer mask. So that has been cut out for us. We're going to turn this off, and with this layer you want to use your lasso tool to basically, you want to cut out the subject, and then you want to right click and use your content aware. So your content aware will basically take out your subject and try to patch it. So we're going to click on OK, just like that, and we're going to turn, and we are going to go ahead and turn back on our subject like so. I'm going to click on Command D to deselect. I'm going to group these. So I'm going to click on these two and merge layers. Now, if I apply the Gaussian blur filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I do that, you realize that we have a much better effect, which is created, and your subject looks very sharp and is much better. So the next feature I want to show you is the content aware, which I think I used it in the previous practice when I was showing you how to cut out the background. So basically you use your lasso tool. You want to make a selection around the subject that you want to cut out. So we can do this like that. And then we want to right click and choose content aware fill, and Photoshop will basically take it out. And once you click OK, Command D to deselect, and everything goes away as though there was nothing there. So that is one other feature that you can use. And the next thing is how to make your black and white into colored with just one click. So let me show you how to do that. So you want to go to filter, and then you want to choose neural filters. Now with this feature, you want to click on the beta filter, and then in the beta filter, click on colorize, and watch Photoshop just change your image from black and white to color. So all you need to do is click OK, and you are done. It is that quick. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how you can basically either make your subject smile or make your subject happy, and so on and so forth, and even change some features of your subject or portrait. So you go back to the same tool, filter, and then we choose the neural filter. And then in this, we want to go back to the beta, and then we want to click on portrait, turn on smart portrait. So if I want my subject to be happy, I can easily increase the slider and watch Photoshop render and give me a different facial expression. So with this feature, the other thing you can do is you can even change the direction of the head. So we can click on that and move it this way a little, depending on whether you want it on the left or on the right. So you see that our subject's face has moved. I'm going to move it even a little bit more further, and I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to click on OK. So you realize that this is the before of the face, and now this is the after. So it's not that bad, but if you feel that you need to clean this up, you can add a layer mask to this. Pick up your brush tool. With our foreground as black, we can basically erase this area. So we can basically erase this area to really show the hair, so the hair is not blurred, but we must be careful not to brush on the face, which will then reveal the other layer beneath. So just like this, you have basically moved the face of the subject from this looking directly on to the side. So another feature that Photoshop has rolled in is the new triangle feature that you can use. So let's say I draw this in like this. Photoshop has given us the option to basically round your edges like this. Now, the other thing is that beyond that, you can also change these little features that we already have in the previous version. So I can make the stroke effect 25 and click OK, and I can basically change these. Now, the other cool thing is that even if I make a duplicate, Command J of this layer, I can basically move this up like that and move the subject down. So we have something like this. But the cool thing is that I can then begin to reverse and have all of these options that I can do with this new feature. So if I even merge these two layers like that, I can basically toggle in between and still have this different options that I can use. So guys, the last feature I want to show you is the pattern preview, which allows you to create seamless pattern. So if you pick up your brush tool and let's say I do this and that as my pattern, if I go up to view and pattern preview, once I zoom out, this is what I have. Now, if I want it to be seamless, I can do this, and you can see that everything basically ties in and is a perfect pattern. So guys, this brings us to the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoy all of these new features. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite. So until next week, bye for now.